Good morning to all of you. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, audible.
Thank you. I hope the screen is also visible to all of you. So in the last lecture, we were discussing about types of machine learning. So broadly, we discussed that there are three types: supervised learning, reinforcement learning, and unsupervised learning. So in supervised learning, I told you that we specify the label of the data. Okay. So just like a supervisor, we tell that this is the data and this is the corresponding label. This is the data and this is the corresponding label. Likewise, we feed this information to the algorithm. Now that algorithm learns from the examples. Like if this is the data, this is the label, this is the data, this is the label, and internally it will configure itself to result into a trained model. So once this trained model is available, where can we use it? Suppose we have the data, but we don't have the corresponding label. So at that time, what we do is for that data, we will ask this trained model that what is the label. So the goal is to correctly label new data. Okay, so this is the use of supervised learning. Next is reinforcement learning. So over here, the training data is unlabeled, but there is one more thing which is additional to unsupervised learning. In unsupervised learning, definitely the training data is unlabeled. We just give the data and we ask the algorithm to learn from it and to categorize that data into different classes. That is unsupervised learning. Then in reinforcement learning, what is additional? The additional thing is the feedback. So this system receives feedback for its actions. Like if it does good thing, it will get the reward. If it does wrong thing, it will get the punishment. And likewise, the performance of some system is judged based on this reward and punishment based system. So this is reinforcement learning. Examples of reinforcement learning is chess playing AI agent. So if the chess playing AI agent wins, then it will get the uh, uh, rewards, and if it loses, it will get the penalty. All right. So this is how broadly the machine learning systems are classified. Then what are the applications? So these are some common applications. Already we have discussed these. Handwriting recognition, then language translation, speech recognition, image classification, autonomous driving. Okay, so already we have discussed, and these are the applications that are very much in demand, highly in demand. Okay, so if you are a data scientist who is working on some product, so in those product, as I told you, the law by Alan Turing. So what was that law? The AI-based agent should have these characteristics. So he gave the list of characteristics. So nowadays, these product-based companies like Apple, its product is Siri. Okay, uh, and this Siri is speech recognition system. It is embedded into the device. Say Apple MacBook. In that they have embedded Siri. In Apple mobiles, they embed the Siri. So this is one of the component of their entire product. But is it the only component? No. There are other components also. So if you are a data scientist who is working on cutting edge technologies and who is working for product based company, so definitely at some point of time you will encounter with these applications: speech recognition, image classification, or if you're working for some automobile industry, then autonomous driving. So these are in very much demand. So next is features. So we already have discussed the features. Features are what? So I told you features are some compressed representation of original data. So one question, I'm making a statement, tell me whether it is true or false. Features are numbers. Features are generally numbers. Reply in the chat box, true or false. In the last lecture, we discussed with example of triangle and rectangle or square. So how many number of sides? Based on that, we discussed this thing. So features are numbers. This is true. This is true. Features are number in general. Now, what we do is, instead of having the entire data, that is entire image, what we do, we convert that entire data into some compressed number, like for representing square of size 128 rows and 128 columns, how many points are required? If the image is 8-bit, how many points are required? 128 into 128 points. So many points are required to represent one image. So instead of that, we use the feature extraction techniques to have the compressed representation of the image. Okay, so based on this thing, the feature extraction techniques work, and here are some common types of features. So like pixels, if the features are not precisely extracted, if the data is raw, then each pixel value is a feature. Then depth data, this is sound navigation and ranging. In laser range finders, we have the depth data, and then the movement, that is encoder values. Okay, so around the robot, which are the features, the movement positions, and next is orientation or acceleration. So for these, there are different sensors. In our mobile phones also, we have these sensors, right? Gyroscopic sensor, accelerometer, and compass. These are there for smart mobile phones. Okay, so these features can also be used in robotics. Then another question, just give your thought on this thing. If there is some data, from that data, I extract 10 features. Okay, I extract 10 features. All the 10 features are important or not? Is it always true that all the 10 features are important? What do you think?
No, sir.
Compulsory? No. Yes, correct answer. So it is not compulsory that if I extract 10 features, all of them are important. This is not true. So some are important, some are unimportant. From which perspective? From classification perspective. For the model, it may focus on some features that will really discriminate between different categories. Okay, that will really discriminate between different categories of the data. So that's why, although I extract 10 features, I have to use feature selection algorithms to get the important feature. Out of 10, how many are important? With how many features I will get better accuracy, better performance. Okay, so that thing we have to focus on. So in the lab session, we are going to use this feature selection. Now, our lab sessions, we started with Python, but gradually they will be more oriented towards a working of a typical data scientist. In a day-to-day life, how data scientist deals with different kinds of data. So based on that perspective, we will have this lab. Okay. So in that, we are going to cover this feature selection part, and we will use one novel algorithm called nature-inspired feature selection. We'll see how to apply those algorithms to extract, say, out of 10, 4 features are important. Then which 4 features are important. So in order to extract that information, we are going to use the different feature selection techniques. Okay, so that is mentioned. So next is measuring success for classification. Now there are four types of outputs. Four types of outputs. One is true positive. Another is true negative. Then one is false positive. Another is false negative. Okay, so I'll explain this with the help of some example. Okay, so say there is a data which is described like this. So this is 10, this is 20, this is 3, this is 2. Okay, and here we can say that it was true. This is actually true and predicted as true. Actually false and predicted as false. Just observe this. Actually true, predicted as true. So this particular column, this represent actual. Okay, and this particular thing, it represents the predicted one. Okay, so actually true, predicted true, n samples are there. Actually true, so actually true, predicted true. So this true can be treated as positive. True can be treated as positive. So true positive means correctly identified as relevant or positive. So true positive means what? It was actually true. Actual level of the test data was true, and the model also predicted true. 10 cases. Actually true, but predicted as false. Okay, actually true, but predicted as false. So this is another case. Actually false, predicted as false. So this is true negative. Okay, so this is negative. Actually false and predicted as false. So this is a true negative case. Then false positive means actually it was negative. Actually it was false, but it is predicted as true. So that is false positive. Okay. And then actually it was true and it was predicted as false. So this is false negative. Okay. So say this matrix is there which represent this actual and predicted values. Along the diagonal 10 and 20 is there. Off diagonal 2 and 3 elements are there. Okay. Now I will give you one scenario. Just think over this and answer based on this theory. Okay. So yeah. This, okay. Here only I will say there are 100 samples. There are 100 samples. 50 of them are true. 50 of them are false. Ideally. Okay. Then ideally, how should I write this matrix? Ideally, how should I write this matrix? If this is true, this is false, this is true, and this is false. Just think. There are 50 samples actually of class true. There are 50 samples of class false. How should I write this matrix for this case so that this matrix is in ideal condition? Ideal means true is recognized as true. False is recognized or predicted as false. So how should the matrix be? Reply in the chat box. Just think over it. Anyone? Okay. So the ideal values of this matrix should be here. It should be 50 over here, and here it should be 50. Here it should be 0. Here it should be 0. So what happened? Actually, it was true and predicted was true 50 cases. Ideally, how many cases are there? 50. So all of them are predicted correctly. Actually, it was false and predicted as false. How many cases? 50 cases. Ideally, how many are there? 50. Actually, it was true and predicted as false. How many cases? 0. Actually, it was false and predicted as true. 0 cases. So this is ideal matrix. This is also known as confusion matrix or classification matrix. So this is written as 50, 0, 0, 50. So this is known as confusion matrix or classification matrix that contains these values. Okay. So over here, suppose the example is to identify cats. To identify cats. Okay. So for that, the image is this one. And the classifier predicts plus means it is cat. So check the image. Yes, it contains the cat. And what the algorithm says, plus means yes, cat is present. So this is true positive. True means actually cat is there, and our algorithm also says cat is there. Very good. So this is true positive. Then this is deer. So image is of deer. What our model says, negative means cat is not there. This is also correct. So cat is not there and it says negative. No, so it is true negative. Then this is the image. There is a cat. But what our algorithm says, no, there is no cat. So this is false negative. False means wrongly classified as negative. So false negative. Then this is image of car and what our algorithm says. It is saying it is a cat. Plus means it is a cat. So this is false positive. False positive. So likewise, for this image, can anyone tell me what will appear over here? Image is of eagle and prediction says negative. So what will appear over here? Can anyone type into the chat box? What term will appear over here? Eagle, and the prediction is negative. So this is true negative. True. It is predicting negative, which is image is. So this is true positive. Likewise, the outcomes are there. Then these three important performance metrics are used to judge the performance of a classification model. One is precision. So what is precision? It is percentage of positive labels that are correct. So precision is equal to number of true positives divided by number of true positives plus number of false positives. Okay, so if you have a notebook, please note this down. Precision is equal to number of true positives divided by number of true positives plus number of false positives. Then recall. So for recall, percentage of positive examples that are correctly labeled. Percentage of positive examples that are correctly labeled. So recall is equal to number of true positives divided by number of true positives plus number of false negatives. So this is recall. Third one is accuracy. So in accuracy, what we find, how many true positives are there plus how many true negatives are there, whole thing divided by number of samples. Whole thing divided by number of samples. Now we'll have a quick break of 3 minutes. Please arrange a calculator, page and writing material. We are going to solve a numerical. I hope all of you are ready with writing materials and calculator. Share the screen. Okay, so the question is, from the given confusion matrix, find accuracy, precision, recall, specificity, classification, error, and F1 score. So these many performance metrics. So a confusion matrix is given. So these are actual side and this predicted side. So all of you please write down the question quickly. So from the given confusion matrix, find accuracy, precision, recall, specificity, classification, error, F1 score. Please write this down and then write down this confusion matrix. So if the confusion matrix is given, like in scikit-learn, we can print the confusion matrix for certain experiment. And from that confusion matrix, can we find these performance metrics on our own? So here, things to be noted. Carefully observe the matrix. So this is no, yes. So no negative. So no is negative, yes is positive. No is negative, yes is positive. Here no is negative, yes is positive. And this is actual side, and this is predicted side. This is predicted side. Okay. So I hope all of you wrote the question and wrote the confusion matrix. Now how to solve this? Here, just observe this no is treated as negative. So you have to mention this. No is treated as negative. Yes is treated as positive. And no to no. So as no is treated as negative, no to no is true negative. Yes to yes is true positive. No to yes is false positive. Yes to no is false negative. Okay. So all of you please mention these terms. TN, TP, FN, FP. These terms have to be mentioned in the confusion matrix itself, along with these actual and predicted labels. So these terms are very important. If you have any doubt, please ask right here. All of you please write down this notebook. It is a request. Don't just observe. These are numericals, so it is better if you solve them. Then, so now we got the terms Tn, Tp, Fn, Fp. All right. Now we have the formulas. So accuracy. So for accuracy, before that you can write total number of samples for testing is equal to Tn plus Tp plus Fn plus all the samples are summed up. So 50 plus 10 plus 5 plus 100, that is 165. Write down total number of samples for testing is equal to 50 plus 10 plus 5 plus 100, that is 165. So just the numbers are summed up. Whatever numbers are there in this matrix, we sum them up and we write it as 165. Next is for accuracy, this is the formula Tp plus Tn whole thing divided by Tp plus Tn plus Fp plus Fn, that is 165, isn't it? Just now we calculated 165. So denominator is 165. What about numerical? Tp plus Tn, what is Tp? Tp is 100, Tn is 50. So 150 divided by 165. Okay, so the answer is 0.9090. In percentile, it will be 90.90%. Will be 90.90%. The next term is, okay, I'll give you some time for writing these things. Okay, so next is precision. So for precision, the formula is Tp upon Tp plus Fp. So all of you please write down this formula. Find the value of precision. Type the answer in the chat box. So precision is equal to Tp upon Tp plus Fp. Tp upon Tp plus Fp. So write the answer in the chat box for precision. Okay. Others, be quick. Okay. So we'll verify the answer later. Now, whatever answer you are getting, just type into the chat box. No issues. If you are wrong, it may be corrected later, but just type it. I repeat the formula Tp upon Tp plus Fp. Others, be quick. Okay, 90.9 is common answer, I think. So we will verify. So TP, how many TP are there? TP is 100. Okay, TP plus FP, so that is 110. Okay, so 100 divided by 110. So answer is 0.909. So these are correct answers. Okay, 100 divided by 110. Now next is recall. Recall is equal to TP upon TP plus FN. Recall is equal to TP upon TP plus FN. All of you please solve this. Type the answer in the chat box.
So can you show the confusion matrix once, please?
Yeah, right. Yeah, this one. Done. Can I scroll down?
Thank you.
Okay. So find the value of recall. TP upon TP plus FN. Type the answer in the chat box. Okay, 95.23. Okay. Any other answers? Okay, let us verify. TP upon TP plus FN. 100 upon 100 plus 5. So 0.9523. So this is correct answer. Next is specificity. So for specificity, there is the formula Tn upon Tn plus Fp. All of you please write down this formula and then find the value of specificity.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, like the previous one for recall, it is 0.95238. So do we not round it off?
Yeah, we can round it out. Actually, 95.2 onwards, you can write a number, no issue. We consider this in fractional form, no? So 0.95 is enough. 952 is also enough. No problem.
Okay, sir.
So in exam, if you get 0.95, you will get full marks. I will not check for this third and fourth fraction.
Okay, sir.
So what is the value of specificity? All of you please type the answer. Be quick. Specificity is equal to Tn upon Tn plus Fp. So 83.33 is common answer. Let us verify this. So Tn upon Tn plus Fp, 50 upon 50 plus 60, 50 plus 10, that is 50 upon 60, 0.833. Correct answers. Next is classification error. Classification error. So this is the formula for classification error. All of you please write down this formula. Fp plus Fn, because we are finding error. So error means whichever are the false samples are there, they are in the numerator. So false positive plus false negative divided by true positive plus true negative plus false positive plus false negative. So what is this? Total number of samples. What is this? False samples, means misclassified samples. So if we take the ratio, we will get the classification error. So all of you please solve this. Reply with the answer in the chat box. So what is the answer? 9.09. Okay, so let us verify. So FP plus FN, 10 plus 5 divided by total number of samples. What is this? 165. So 15 divided by 165, 0.09. Yeah, or 9%. Yeah. So all these are correct answers. Next is F score. So please note that F score and F1 score is different. All of you please write down this formula for F score. So value of beta can be anything. So F score is equal to beta square plus 1 into precision into recall divided by beta square into in bracket precision plus recall. So all of you please write down this formula. So this is general formula for F score. Now in this formula, substitute beta is equal to 1. Substitute beta is equal to 1 and rewrite the formula. That formula becomes F1 score. That formula becomes F1 score. So this is F score and F1 score is the derived version of this formula where we substitute beta is equal to 1. So what is the answer of substitution? Here beta is to 1 plus 1, 2. 1 square, that is into precision into recall divided F1 score. So when beta is equal to 1, it is known as harmonic mean. Okay, so the values of precision and recall. Please try. Type the answer in the chat box. Okay, very quick. You have the fractional values of precision and recall with you. So from those values, calculate the F1 score. Okay. Others, be quick. All right, so let us verify this value. So precision is 0.909, recall is 0.9523. If we substitute, we get 0.9301. 0.9301. and in percentage form it will be into 100. So here it should be 93.01%. So here it should be multiplied with 100. Next is these are the actual predicted values. So this numerical we are going to solve in the next lecture. So for today's lecture, did you understand how the confusion matrix is written and what are the actual values, what are the predicted values, and how we mention true positive, true negative? Here in the exam, if you get a numerical, then the terminologies will be mentioned, like no is treated as negative and yes is to be treated as positive. This will be there in the question in order to avoid the confusion. Okay, like for no, I treat it as negative. For yes, I treat it as positive. Assume this and then write down these values and then solve it. Okay, it may be vice versa. So in the question, it will be mentioned if this question is asked in the exam. All right. So any doubt, any query? So today we discussed about the types of machine learning algorithms. So major types are supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. What is additional in reinforcement learning than unsupervised learning? What is additional in reinforcement learning than unsupervised learning? Can anyone reply to this question?
Some feedback.
So penalty for wrong answer and uh,
Yeah,
positive points for correct answer.
yeah. So these things come from feedback. Okay, so feedback is correct answer. Feedback is there. Yeah, reward and punishment. So they come from feedback. So feedback is there from output, which is not there in unsupervised learning. Okay, I have few uh, few cubes of sugar. Then I have wheat. I have rice. I mix them, cubes of sugar, wheat, and rice. I want to separate them. So which algorithm should I use? I don't want to tell that which are the labels to the algorithm. So which algorithm should I use? Answer is unsupervised learning. Answer is unsupervised learning, where we do the categorization. Feature extraction and feature selection is same. True or false? Feature extraction and feature selection is same. True or false? Correct answer, it is false. In feature selection, what we do? We select some of the features which are already extracted by feature extraction. So they are different. They are different. All right. Then, can I say that 1 minus accuracy is equal to classification error? Can I make this statement? 1 minus accuracy is equal to classification error. Check the values you got. Yeah, yes, I can make this statement, and this is a true statement. 1 minus accuracy is classification error. Okay. So I hope all of you understood this numerical very well, and you can find the values of this performance matrix: accuracy, precision, recall, specificity, classification error, and F1 score. So with this, we'll stop here for today. I will download the attendance list and then you can log out. Thank you for attending the lecture. Bye bye.